Hi, in our hero villain segment, we are going to be looking at a villain, and this villain is the Black Spider. And I picked him because I've been going through my comics, bagging and boarding, making sure they're all cleaned up and stuff, and getting them ready for, I don't know, when I kick the bucket, or maybe sooner I might sell the whole collection off. And it's behind me here in my garage. Anyway, I bumped into this villain while working on my collection, and I thought his original costume was pretty good. This is the one from 1970s. That's the top row right next to me. And I thought it was pretty interesting. So I decided to look into him and look around, see what he was like, and I wanted to see how much of him it was out there. And I'm really, frankly, surprised how little they used this character. And if they did, they didn't use him in a quality way. You'll see when I continue. Anyway, his first appearance was in a book in 1941. These are only DC characters, Black Spiders, that I'm looking at, and there's 4 of them. Bullet Man #1, June 1941. Writer, unknown, couldn't find out. Artist inker was Charles Sultan. And Bullet Man was a Fawcett superhero. It was fairly popular, along with the Shazam characters. But anyway, the first Black Spider's name is Jules Ray. And he was a convicted murderer in the United States and was deported to his homeland of France. And according to what I read, he was in prison in some kind of dungeon, I guess, or a very bad prison. But anyway, he's in there and he stays there for quite a while. And when he's down there, he starts to lose his eyesight, gets poor vision, and slowly goes nuts, goes insane. So anyway, what happens is while he's down there, going insane, he befriends the large spiders that inhabit that dungeon, right? And he actually starts to, I guess, train them. Don't know if he had any meta-human abilities, but they start to do what he tells them to do. He can get them to do things. And he had a favorite one. He named her Susie, if it was a her. Anyway, he gets free and moves back to the USA and returns to crime. He gathers up a gang, sets up a hideout that's beneath an old oak tree right outside the city that Bullet Man and Bullet Girl patrol. So he makes a list of all the people that caused his problems, that captured him and made him turn into what he was. So, and that includes Sergeant Kent, Bullet Man, and Bullet Girl. So anyway, what he does is he writes threatening letters to his victims, and then he kidnaps them and has his spiders torture them, and then eventually he kills them. And then he dumps the bodies not too far from his hideout, which I guess they didn't have a car or a truck to go further away or something. But anyway, they drop them off there. And people are wondering, who the heck's killing these people? Well, the big mistake he makes is he kidnaps Sergeant Kent, which is one of the people he's pissed off at. So he kidnaps him, and that gets Bullet Man and Bullet Girl involved, and they eventually decide they got to go figure out, get, Bullet Girl's dad back, because she's the daughter of Sergeant Kent. So anyway, they find him. They have a big to-do in their hideout. The hideout is a cave. It collapses. The tree falls in, I guess, and kills Jules Ray as the Black Spider. And so that was his short tenure as the Black Spider. He never showed up again as far as I could find. Now, I didn't mention that I am going to be showing what artwork I can find about this, covers and interior artwork if I can. So hopefully you'll be able to see it and be able to look at some of it. So the next appearance of Black Spider is in Detective Comics 463, September 1976. Writer Jerry Conway, artist Ernie Chan Chua, he uses 2 names back in the 70s, and inker Frank McLaughlin. In this issue, we get the first appearance of the Black Spider, Eric Needham, who is a costume vigilante / somewhat villain. His goal is to wipe out all drug kingpins, pushers, anyone peddling drugs, especially heroin. You'll find out why. And this comic starts, he's a tech type guy. He has a lot of technologies and stuff. He uses guns, bombs, I don't know, but this is pretty early for computers, but he used all sorts of weaponry, and he had no powers of any type that we know of. So anyway, this starts out with Batman fighting a drug dealer named Blinky. And he's cool because he's got the hat, he's got the fur coat type thing going on. And Batman's fighting him and his henchmen, and one of them gets a shot off and hits Batman in the shoulder. That now allows Blinky to run away and leave his henchmen behind to get caught. He jumps in his car, turns it on, blows up, he's dead. So Batman gets yelled at by, Commissioner Gordon's boss and stuff, and so he's determined to find out who planted the charge in his car. So he goes and confronts the guy, the head dealer in town. His name is Sugar Man. God, I love those names. We just don't use good names like that anymore. He's the kingpin of heroin in Gotham, and they've been trying to bring this dude down for quite a while. So anyway, while fighting his henchmen, Sugar Man is standing by a window, and Batman approaches him, and he gets shot in the back, and he dies. So Batman runs out, figures, oh, there's a building over there, jumps over and sees Eric Needham, the Black Spider. And they duke it out, and Batman doesn't do a great job. He kind of gets knocked down because he's kind of bleeding right now and not feeling too great. And Black Spider leaves his rifle behind and leaves. Now, when Commissioner Gordon shows up, they find Batman with a rifle by him, and they think, hey, did you shoot Sugar Man? We know you've been wanting to get this guy. Did you finally cross the line? No, I didn't do it, And he escapes. And they're all like, oh, God, now we got to go after him. And he goes after where he thinks Black Spider will go next, because there's I guess in Gotham City they have a specific flight that comes in from France, which at the time they claim is where a lot of heroin comes from. So he goes there. Sure enough, Black Spider's there. He's obviously going to take down somebody coming in. And him and Batman duke it out again, and he hits Batman hard and throws him on the tarmac, and Batman blacks out. And holy smokes, Batman, what are we going to do? We got to wait till the next issue, which is Detective Comics 464, October 76. Writer Jerry Conway, artist Ernie Chan Chua, inker Frank McLaughlin. It opens with Batman on the tarmac, and here comes a plane, man, getting ready to land, and he's going to go right over him. Well, he wakes up and rolls out of the way, looks up, sees Black Spider on one of those carts that pull like all the suitcases, I guess. He goes after him there, dukes him out. Black Spider gets away. And so Batman's got to figure out who this dude is. He's new. So he goes and he talks to Commissioner Gordon about stuff, and the new guy that's his boss, Commissioner Gordon, yells at him a lot and stuff. And so Batman goes to someone he trusts, and he goes to a prostitute named Maria and asks her to find out if she can find out who this guy is. He's new. Maybe, since she's, down in those areas, maybe she knows something. And she tells him a story of a young and really intelligent black kid that grew up in the slums of Gotham City. And this kid, who's, got hooked on drugs, she tells him, and got hooked on heroin and turns to crime to fill his habit. And one day he mugs some lady, I think it's an old lady, but a lady, and he gets captured by the cops, and he gets put in juvie and stays there until he's 21. And so he does 3 years in there. And 2 years later, he gets released and goes back to doing what he does best, which was robbing, burglarizing, and doing stuff. Not heroin, though. He's no longer using the drugs. He gets clean. And he does that for a couple of years, and he one day robs a liquor store, and he kills a man working there, and it turns out it's his dad. All right? And just enraged him, and he leaves. He just goes. And he disappears. And now he shows up as, maybe this guy. And she thinks that maybe this guy is Eric Needham, the one that, killed his father. So Batman gets tipped off by Maria later that on a metro train in Gotham, the driver is smuggling heroin on the train, and that she thinks that's where he's going to strike next. So Batman goes to the metro train. Black Spider's there on top, holding a bomb. He's going to blow up the whole train just to kill the driver and kill everybody else on it. And Batman and him duke it out. During the fight, he pulls his mask off. It is Eric Needham. And they continue to fight. Eric Needham falls off the train while holding the bomb. It blows up, and gosh, I guess that's his short time, right? But not so, because he later returns in Batman 306 in December 1978. Writer Jerry Conway again. Artist John Kalman. Inker David Hunt. Batman is breaking up a drug shipment at the Gotham docks. He notices after he beats up the bad guys that the little boat that was carrying the drugs came from a yacht out there. So he goes out to the yacht, gets on board. Sure enough, he sees a guy named Hardwick, some millionaire guy who's the heroin kingpin. And well, Black Spider shows up too, and they get in a bit of a tussle. Batman pulls the plug out. It's at nighttime, darkens the place. When the lights come back on, Black Spider sees that Hardwick and Batman are gone. So what happens is Batman turns Hardwick over. Gotham City Police Department, Gordon will not hold him overnight or wait for, they got to put him someplace different because his boss doesn't want to shoot out with drug dealers at this station. So Batman takes him and he moves him. And during the time that he does that, Black Spider plugs the Hardwick man up on a roof. He shoots him, hits him in the back, falls down, realizes that he must have had a bulletproof vest on or something, but there's no blood, and he gets up, and he's pissed, and he throws his gun down and vows revenge. So what happens is what happens is Batman then takes Hardwick to Bruce Wayne's penthouse because he knows he's got to protect this guy because he's going to rat out all the people he's involved with. So he shows up, puts him in there, and sure enough, later on that night, Black Spider shows up. Him and Batman get in a bit of a tussle, and all of a sudden Black Spider falls down, and he can't breathe. He's having a problem. Then he falls unconscious. You find out Batman filled the apartment with sleep gas, and Hardwick and Alfred were in a safe room. So he gets captured, gets carted off to jail. That's it. So we don't see him again for quite a while. I mean, a decent story with him in it. Between this comic and the next one I'm talking about, a lot of minor appearances. That's all. Little one-shot things. I was really disappointed. The next appearance is Batman Shadow of the Bat, Volume 1, Number 5, October 1992. Writer Alan Grant, good writer. Artist Norm Breyfogle, great artist. Inker Norm Breyfogle. This book is going to open with Batman discovering a dead woman and her kid in a tenement area of the Gotham City. He finds a letter from the Black Spider that explains why he is doing what he's doing and what he's going to be doing now. And he finds out that her name is Linda, and that's his son Mikey of Black Spider. It's his ex-girlfriend. Black Spider, you then kind of do a flashback scene while Batman reads the letter. Black Spider kills some henchmen and is going to kill the dealer. Batman stops him. And they fight, and Black Spider gets away. And when he's done, he returns to his ex-girlfriend's apartment. Her name's Linda, and it's her son Mikey, and she's high on heroin. They argue and stuff, and he threatens to take Mikey away from her, and Mikey doesn't want to do it. And it's pretty interesting. I'm not trying to downplay the seriousness of this. I thought it was a really good extra piece of the plot line. So anyway, he leaves to get some more weapons because he knows who the kingpin is. His name is Brett Yales. So he's going to get some more weaponry, and when he returns, what happens is he finds his Linda dead and his son Mikey dead from heroin overdose. Linda from shooting up Mikey from her dumping all the heroin in a box of cereal, and Mikey got hungry and ate it. So I don't know if you can eat heroin and die, but that's what happened here. So he writes a letter to Batman because he figures this is going to be the ultimate takedown. So Black Spider arrives at Brett Yale's warehouse and confronts him. Upon arriving there, he fights. He gets severely wounded, and Yales decides he's going to let this, going to have mercy on Black Spider by overdosing him. So he'll go out in Happy Land, I guess. But anyway, Batman shows up, and he's all set to start beating up Yale and his thugs when Black Spider gets up and screams at him, "No, you don't understand!" And he knocks him out the window and pushes him outside of the warehouse. Black Spider Yale's going, "Thanks, man, I appreciate it." And Black Spider rips open his shirt. He has a huge bomb on there, and he detonates it, kills everybody in it, himself and everybody else, as far as we know, right? Nope, he lived. And from this point on, all the way up to 2009, which was his last appearance, they're just little one-shot type of things. That's all. I mean, I was really, really kind of disappointed. I think this guy was a good character. But during the time that he died in, 1992, a new Black Spider shows up in Batman number 518, 519, and 520, May of 1995. Writer Doug Mensch, artist Kelly Jones, inkers John Beatty. Here's going to you, Kelly. I know him a little bit. He's a good guy. Great artist. Now, what happens here is there's a new guy called Black Mask, and he's a villain who's building a society called the False Face Society, a bunch of gangsters and stuff, and they're going to take over all the crime in Gotham City, which is the big thing criminals do there. You got to be the number one kingpin of crime. Anyway, and what happens is you get this God, he looks like he's right out of the 50s. This good-looking guy wearing his jacket with the studs on it and stuff, and he comes in and announces he's the new Black Spider, and he's going to go ahead and wants to join Black Mask's gang because he needs, gangsters to help him fight, put on his war. And no one's ever heard of him, so Black Mask is kind of skeptical. But he sends him on a mission anyway. You go ahead and do this for me, and let's see if it works out. Well, he does. He goes out there and promptly starts to do what he's supposed to be doing. And Batman shows up. They get in a fight. And he has to run away and escape. And in issue 519, that doesn't sit too well, Black Mask. That wasn't too impressive. But he insists, I'm going to get this. And if Batman gets my way, he's gone. I'm going to get him. So he goes on another mission to kill somebody. And Batman shows up. They tussle it out. They duke it out. And what was kind of fun about this is Batman ends up booting him out a window. And the window shatters and hits him in the face and cuts his mask up in his face. And during this comic, when you read the few appearances of this guy knows he's handsome, and all he's concerned about is the face. He don't damage the face, that type of thing. I thought that was kind of a nice little touch. And he's like screaming upset about his face when he goes through the window. And in 520, it ends up with him being bandaged, and he's in a cell with his face all bandaged up. So I'm wondering if he's going to become the new Scarface. And in 520 of this issue, you see Bruce Wayne reminisce. It shows a splash page of him knocking down Black Spider. That's it. And from here on, there's only a few books of him in it, and they're very small scenes. I didn't mention it before, but there's a bibliography at the end of all their appearances of all these guys that I'll post. His final appearance was in Gotham Central, Volume 1, number 23, November 2004. And quite a ways. And the writer's Greg Rucka, artist Michael Lark, inker Stefano Gardino. Detectives Crispus Allen and Renee Montoya see a bunch of gang members enter a tenement of Gotham City. So I guess they never get rid of the tenements. Anyway, they hear gunshots and they rush in with their guns drawn. They're going to get to the bottom of this. They separate. Montoya gets jumped by the Black Spider. And he decides, and she drops her gun, and she's laying there, and he decides, I'm going to ace me a cop, What he didn't figure on was Crispus Allen, who comes running through the door, and he promptly plugs Black Spider in the head and the body, and he falls over, and he's deader than a doornail. And I mean dead, not like Eric Needham, who dies and keeps coming back. This guy's gone. So anyway, a little interesting side note in here, if you're familiar with the character Spectre, there's a detective working there called James Corrigan, but he is not the Spectre, and he's kind of a slimeball guy. And one of the bullets that went through Black Spider, he digs out of the wall, and he sells it on eBay at the end. I thought that was kind of an interesting side note. If you ever want to read Gotham Central, it's a good cop book. So, and that's it for that Black Spider. The next Black Spider is named Derek Coe. He shows up in Birds of Prey number 87 through 90. That's December through March of 2005. Writer Gail Simone, artist Joe Bennett and Eddie Barrows, both great artists, by the way. Paulo Sequeira and Adam DeCracker. I hope I didn't abuse these guys' last names. Inkers Jack Jadson and Robin Riggs. These are the guys that did all 4 issues. Here, basically, we see Derek Coe and Jack Chifford, who is the Hellhound, talking to a convicted U.S. senator. By the way, it's the only time you're going to see Derek Coe outside of his costume and the appearances that he makes. They offer to go after Oracle and the Birds of Prey because they captured a bad senator and tossed him in prison. So he wants him dead. He tells them, go after her subordinates, the people she sends out to do the fighting. So what happens is, in number 88, they captured a guy named Savant that was part of the Birds of Prey. And all you see in this issue is, I'll show you, you'll see some scenes of them torturing this Savant guy to find out where Oracle is. And that's pretty much all they are in this book, disappointingly so. In 89, the next issue, Birds of Prey show up. There's a few pages where they just start beating the hell out of the Hellhound and Black Spider, and they free Savant, who's pretty PO'd about being tortured and stuff. So he picks up Black Spider and stuff, and he starts threatening them all, and then he throws him out of a 10-story building, and down he goes to the pavement, and splat, and he hits it. And issue 90, you see Black Canary go down there, and she looks him up, and he's still alive. She figured he was deader than a doornail, but nah, he's still alive, and she thinks, well, maybe he's got a little metahuman in him, man. Nobody should survive a 10-story fall to the pavement. Sadly, we will never know, because after this, there's only a few more appearances of this Black Spider, and then we go to New 52, and everything gets erased. So, just real quickly, I think they didn't do enough with the Black Spider. I mean, Derek Coe's character was nothing. Johnny DeMonica was a little more interesting, but I felt that Eric Needham was the best of the group. And I think they should have done a lot more with him instead of these one-shot, hey, I'm with these villains, which is mostly what he did. Or he's in a hallucination or something. And I don't know, I think he was a good villain. It would have been interesting to see him flesh this character out. They might have been able to do something with him, but alas, did not happen. So anyway, thanks for watching this. I hope you got a little information about someone you probably never even heard of. So anyway, enjoy, and I hope you watch the next segment. Thank you.